High School Game Night brought to you by JD's Pazzo Pizza in Ephrata.
Welcome back to the High School Game Night halftime show. I'm Catherine Clark. We're finally starting to see the playoff picture come into focus. 9 weeks of games have given us absolute craziness in the section standings, and now we're ready to see who captures the title. So let's bring in our high school football correspondent, Jeff Reinhardt of PennLive.com, to put it all in perspective and put a bow on this regular season. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Catherine. Good to be back. Week 10.
Yes. All right, Jeff. Well, Section 1 seems like it has belonged to Wilson for the past decade. They are about to clinch another title with some impressive stats to go with it. Fill everybody in on just how dominant they've been.
Yeah, you're right. Wilson has absolutely dominated Section 1 here pretty much since 2007. If Wilson can beat Warwick here in Week 10, and they'll be a big favorite, that'll be 50 LL League wins in a row. Would also cap 7 undefeated runs through Section 1 in a row. Wilson has been Wilson, top defense in the league, giving up about 190 yards a game. Jake Templin's had a really good breakout season at quarterback. He's over 20 TDs, and here's an impressive one for you. Last week, their leading rusher, Shane Dantzler, couldn't go against Penn Manor. Tim Whitmoyer, a senior, steps in, steps up, rushes for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns. So next man up at Wilson. They've been awesome. They can beat Warwick here in Week 10. That'd be 10-0, and they'll be the #1 seed in the District 3 Quad A playoffs. Fantastic season once again for the Bulldogs. We'll see how far they can get in the playoffs.
All right, well, on to Section 2, where to say it's been wild is an understatement. Manheim Central, Lampeter, Strasburg, and Calico, all with a shot at the section title over the past few weeks. Explain the madness to us, Jeff, and where it all stands now.
It's hard to believe that when Manheim Central walked off the field at LS after Week 7, the Barons were alone in first. Fast forward to, going into Week 10 here, and it's just craziness. LS is in the driver's seat. Pioneers are 5-1. They've clinched a tie. If they beat Garden Spot in Week 10, P.S., that's an awesome game, circle it. LS would win outright. So they beat Garden Spot, they win. But if Garden Spot wins, Spartans would be 5-2. LS would drop to 5-2. The Solanco Manheim Central winner will be 5-2. And if Cocalico beats Lancaster Catholic, the Eagles would be 5-2. So, Catherine, if that scenario happens, we would have 4 teams with 5-2 records. So this one could end up in a 4-way tie. LL Section 2 throughout the history of the league has never ended in a 3-way tie, let alone a 4-way tie. Keep an eye on LS Garden Spot. That's the one you want to see. That's the simplest math. If LS wins, it wins the section title outright for the 3rd time in 5 years, which would be an impressive run by the Pioneers, no doubt.
All right, and finally, Section 3, Northern Lebanon has stormed to the top of the leaderboard with some impressive wins. Most people don't know much about them, so fill us in. Northern
Lebanon got to go to that game last week. They played Donegal up in Fredericksburg. Vikings played a great game. Donegal scored on the first play of the game. Connor Maxwell went 68 yards the other way for a touchdown. Boom. Donegal needed to win that game to force a tie. Didn't happen. Northern Lebanon, Dominic Trader's been playing great. They're running back. He went for 226 and 3 touchdowns last week. Also picked off a pass on D, which set up a touchdown run, which gave Northern Lebanon the lead for good. My favorite Northern Lebanon stat is this. These guys have not won a section championship since 1991. So none of these guys were alive the last time the Vikings won, and this would only be their 3rd outright title ever in the LL. So they get Columbia here in Week 10. Tide scuffling. They're 2-7 coming in here to the finale. So I like Northern Lebanon to win here. It's been their season. Looks like they're going to go undefeated all the way through. If Northern Lebanon beats Columbia, they are the Section 3 champs.
All right, well, thanks, Jeff, for joining us all season long. It's been another great football season.
Absolutely. See you in the playoffs.
All right, don't forget to check out Jeff's work at PennLive.com for all the latest on high school athletes throughout the LL League. Coming up next Friday on BRC 11's featured game, it's playoff time. We've got lots of local teams in the district playoffs. Once the pairings are set and we see who's hosting a postseason game, we'll make the announcement. Tune in next week to see who's going to be live right here on BRC 11 in HD. That'll do it for the halftime show. Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, High School Game Night's post-game show airs tonight at 10:30 with Chad Landers and Brian Cast. But for now, we'll send you back to Eagle Stadium for second half action between Lancaster Catholic and Cocalico. Enjoy.